live, it says.
Hi, friends. We're going to start in just a minute. So gather on up. I watch a podcast that has a guy has a little bell that he rings. Come on, class, it's time to start. Now I feel like I need one of those. Thank you, honey. Perfect.
Might check.
I hear the volume.
I was fixed to say might check the volume.
Okay, I'll mute it. Excellent. Okay. 3 are on here. Woohoo! If you're here, put a comment so I'll know you're here, because I think it's me and Doug and maybe one other, so I don't want to get started before everybody's here. But we welcome you, of course. I show that it is 6 o'clock straight up, so we'll start in just a minute. Thank you for being here. Yes, you're joining in. I'm so excited. Thank you. So, hi, Leah. How are you today? I'm so glad you're here. Who else is here? Now there's 7. Oh, I love it. Everybody's gathering up. I was just saying, I watch a guy on, I don't know, he does a series of podcasts or, I don't even know, lives or something, videos. And he has this little bell, and when he starts, he jingles the bell and says, come on in, class, everybody come in. Now I'm feeling like I need a bell. And do I even have a bell? I need a little bell that has something to do with quilting, but I don't have one. That can be something we look for. So thank you all for being here. Thank you. Catherine's here, and Ann is here, and Pat is here, and Trish is here. Hi. We're so happy you're here. It has been a marvelous Monday for me. I hope it has been a marvelous Monday for you. Thank y'all for letting me take a snow day last week. You know, when it snows on Sunday, we always have a snow day on Monday if it's a big enough snow. So schools were closed, the whole 9 yards. Well, I just played all day, and I'll be able to show you what I got accomplished. In fact, one of the things I got accomplished is right behind me, and I'm real excited about showing that to you. So I will. I'll tell you a little background about it first. You know, back in the olden days, like year before last, our quilt guild announced that our theme for last year was red and white quilts. It was our Ruby anniversary or something, like 40 years or something that the guild had been around. So of course all of us started putting our brains together. What were we going to make red and white quilts to hang in the show? And hi Monique, we're glad you're here. So anyway, I ordered a layer cake, and of course I had whites or close to white, so I was going to do a red and white. And I wanted a red quilt with white instead of a white with red. And, of course, everything got canceled. So I never made it, right? I mean, if there's no deadline to get your quilt in and enter it in the competition, there's no reason. There's no deadline. So I just kind of put it off. Well, a week ago, yesterday morning, I woke up. I had been really praying about my business and what I needed to do and how it needed to go and what direction I need. Happens at the beginning of every year. And I woke up and I knew I had been given this idea. And it's the quilt behind me. So let me show you. This is using my new orange peel tool. This is reverse applique. All the white is reverse applique. And I did use the 10-inch layer cake. So it's a 10-inch block. All of these are. This is just a cut in half. That's all that is right here. And so this is real simple. And it was super quick. So last Sunday morning, I woke up with the idea. And then we do the church thing. But we do it from home. And I could not wait to get started on it. So I figured out how to do it. And I played with it and figured out before I cut into my layer cake. I'm picky about cutting into my layer cakes. I'll do yardage all day long. But man, when it's a layer cake, I get real fussy about Are y'all that way? Am I the only one that does that? It's like, ooh, I don't want to cut that yet till I know what I'm going to do with it. So, and I can play with other fabric, but not my layer cakes. And I don't know why I'm that way. That's funny, isn't it? So anyway, I woke up and I figured it out, and I want to show y'all how quick and simple it is. Okay, so you know I've got this new tool coming out. This is it. And it has the large orange peel. Can you see? Let's have it upside down like that. Large orange peel. So it's a window for reverse applique. So I can do it this way. Did y'all notice I have a new setup? I moved over. This is my long arm machine. And then this is a design wall. I'll tell you about it in a minute. But this has this window, and then there's a window inside a window. See that? So this size fits perfectly in a 5-inch square, right? So when I woke up last Sunday morning, I realized, the idea was with me. Now I've got all this open. I'll just lay it right here. That if I take this inner window, this little thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, super quick, super easy. So I'm going to show you. I took, and here's just a 10-inch square, right? And this isn't even white. It's got a little bit of it's just low volume. But it's great for a sample. What I did is I turned it, first thing I did was I ironed it. Y'all, this is how lazy I am. I ironed it across here and here, and then in half, and then in half. So I don't even know if you can see my iron marks, but I have them in there. Then I took my little tool. I cut a 1-inch square. I use that plastic template stuff, that has a grid on it. I have that in my studio. And I put this right in the middle, just like that, and I drew around it. See that? So what that does is I lined it so that this fold and that fold and all of those would align, and then I took my friction pen and drew around it. Laid my tool at that point and this point still on the line, and drew around all 4 of them. See, nothing to it so far, right? Just nothing to it. Once I had them all drawn, I cut them and I glued them open, right? So I cut them 1/4 of an inch on the inside of that line that I had drawn, and then I glued them open, just like that. See it? Now watch what happens. I can put a 10-inch square on it, like a layer cake. This is one of my layer cake pieces. And then here's the top piece. Look at that. Then the simple thing that I just pinned it at that point, and then you top stitch around here. Now, if you do it this way, of course you're going to have all that waste, right? Well, sometimes I don't care if it's easier, if it's faster. But I could have cut it smaller. I could have cut it, this shape and done all that. But this was a quick way to show you. The other thing I can do is if I want it to be scrappy, I can put, something like that. Y'all look at that.
Forward just a little
like
bit.
This.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, that's
Does that work? Okay, so what do y'all think? Is that easy? So what I would do now is I would pin this down and go to the machine and just top stitch it. That's all I did here, except with the reverse colors. I had the dark red and then cut the windows and filled it from behind with a off-white sort of it's not a pure white. But that's all this is. So I did 16 of those blocks. I cut a 2¼ inch border, and then I did those little outside the beige border. I did half ones. It took me, I don't know, it was a week. I mean, I did it in a few hours. I got the blocks done, and then I finished it up today. So I don't know, it was less than a weekend. I mean, a day, a few hours. It didn't take me forever. So I enjoy doing it, and so that is one of the things that can happen with my new tool. So my new tool is available. I'll be shipping it later this week to Portland, for those of you who care. So thanks, Pat, and thanks, Catherine. So that was quick and simple, and I really liked it. I mean, I think that's fun for a red and white quilt. Although that's not my favorite color, red. I wanted to go ahead and use my red and white, so that worked out perfectly. Now, tonight, so that's just that quilt. Tonight, if Tawny, if you show up, I want to, hey, y'all, do y'all see Jerry Massey is watching? Do y'all see that? That's my dad. Hey, Dad. It's good to see you on here. You're going to learn all about quilting. I'm going to talk to you about my design wall, what this is sitting on. It's a new design wall. I had, for the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, been using something different. It was just batting and flannel. Well, I decided I wanted something bigger and more substantial, so Doug went and bought the Lowe's brand blue insulation foam sheets that are 4x8. And we don't have a truck, so he had to have them cut, or he cut them, sorry. He cut them in half so he could get them in the car, so that would be 4x4 things. He put them in the car and brought them home, and lift this up. And do you see the seams here? Can they see those on the camera real well? Yes. He just screwed it to the wall, y'all. Before he screwed them to the wall, I stapled with just my old stapler, just with a regular paper stapler, batting, a coat of batting, and then I didn't have enough flannel, but I did have some really nice muslin, and so that's what's on there, and so now I can pin, and it holds the weight of the quilts a lot better. So when we did that, I decided I would move over here, because what we had been doing is taking that side of the room, but we were having to put up a screen and all that stuff, so that's why it looks a little different. We are actually using my long arm is over here, and we're using this is the long arm bars, so we're just using the long arm. And if I ever have to do this and a quilt is on it, you'll be able to see the quilt, but I can still use it. I'm all about that. Okay, so tonight's topic are a few of my favorite things. The funny thing is, let me find the one I'm looking for. The other day, my friend, wrote me a text, and she said, Jerry Ann, I got this for Christmas, and I have no idea what it is. Can you tell me what this is? She said, I know it must be quilting, but I have no idea what it is. And y'all, people who are in the world know what it is, but you may not have known the first time you ever saw it. Got it? It's this little green, well, they come in all colors, but it's that little plastic molded, I don't even remember what they're called. And so I sent her a picture back saying, yes, they are for your, you can put them around your bobbins to hold your thread together. You can put them around your spools of thread to hold it. But y'all know what? I was at a I was at a meeting, a quilting group thing one day, and I was doing handwork, and I didn't have a thimble, and I used this as my thimble as I was, sticking it through. I was using it, and it worked. So there's another use for it. So that is so that's why I'm doing this tonight, because I thought, if she doesn't know what those things are, and you tend to get them at Christmas or, like little goodie bags, I'll just share it with her. Okay, so one of my pet peeves is trying to match bobbins to thread. I want all of them to be right there together. And because I long arm, not everybody does, but I do. I use big spools. This one is almost gone. Purplicious, and it is a superior thread, and it's Omni. And I use this on my long arm a lot. I do a lot of the kids quilting, for the, but I also piece with this if I need to. So, what I did was I invented this little thing. It is a button with hot glue and a dowel rod. See that? That's all it is. And what I do is I stick the dowel rod down through the bobbin, and I stack it on my shelf over here. If I have a bobbin that has half of a bobbin full, then I save it to the next time, and then this is how I keep them all organized. So that's one of my favorite things, and it's a homemade little gadget. Dowel rods cost hardly anything. And buttons. I have tons of buttons. Okay, another favorite thing along this line. Let me show you what I did. You see, I did the same thing. I took some inexpensive buttons with it and then put it through this bobbin that goes to my sewing machine. And I keep all of this together also. That way I just don't have to go look. Because when my kids were little, one time I took Nathan and Ashley, or my kids' names, and Ashley was probably, 18 months old, and I took them for pictures. And that was back in the day where you had to go to, was it J.C. Penney's or Sears that had both had, I think I went to Penney's to have their pictures made. This was 100 years ago. Well, they're 40, so it was close to 100 years ago. And I had Ashley in these cute little it was winter, and I had her in these cute little corduroy overalls, pink, cute, with a little top, and Nathan, I don't remember what he had on. All I can see of that picture is, as she was sitting, her feet were out in those little white shoes that were come up her ankle. She was sitting, and you could see up her pants, and she had on mismatched socks. I've never been good at matching socks. Oh, I was so horrified. But anyway, so that keeps me from going down that road. Okay, other things I love. I have gotten to where when I do needlework, I'm always wearing my thimble and I do a lot of needlework at night. And so this is my favorite thimble, and it's not an expensive thimble, but it's an adjustable thimble. Do you see this? It's like those inexpensive rings that you get when you're a kid that adjust. And so I put my finger in there, and then I adjust. That's not true. I do it this way. And then I adjust that to fit snugly. The problem is I never can get a thimble that fits me right. Well, actually, that doesn't fall off. So I've gotten so used to wearing this as a thimble all the time that this is my favorite thimble. And interestingly, this one has printed across the back the word cherish. I don't know why, but it does. Okay, other things that are, what in the world are these? So, my friend wrote me and said, I have a couple of other, something else I want to know. And it was, well, here. She said, what is this? And it looks like a hairpin, sort of, doesn't it? Well, you slip it through your bobbin, like so. See, somebody else didn't like to have mismatched bobbins. And then you stick it down in the center of your bobbin, and it holds it. And here's another one of those thread holders. Now, this is just solid plastic, so there's no mechanical parts, so it'll last forever. I bet it was 3D printed. I really do. I think it is. Okay, so that's another one of my favorite things. This is another. Hey, Monique, if you're still on here. Hey, Timmy. When I was in LaSalle, with Monique, there was a lady that was selling these. It's a thread catcher bag and a bobbin, and look what, and a pin cushion, and look what she put on the bottom. It's that non-slip, like it.
Shelf.
It's that non. What did you say?
Use it in your shelves.
Oh, shelf liners, what he's calling it. Yeah. And then it's this heavy, nice bobbin. Gosh, I'm sorry, pin cushion with this little bag, and it just sits on the front of my sewing machine. So that's a favorite thing. People make them all the time. I'm not good at making things for myself. I just get busy and don't. But I do want to talk to you about this stuff. So when I'm doing handwork, which I do a lot, every night I do handwork, and I don't even know if you can see here, my needle and thread, right? Well, I use thread conditioner, and I use what's called Thread Magic. I want to show y'all this stuff. I got a new one out. I wanted a new one, but I thought I'd show y'all first before I start using it. It's just some sort of silicone stuff, and you don't put your needle in it, but you put your thread in it, and then do you see how it kind of buries down in there? And you slide that along until it comes out the other end. And now it has this, your thread has a really nice, real thin coating of this silicone stuff, and it just slides through. And what I do is I rub it a couple of times, because you know how I don't want any of like build up on it. So I do that, and then I'm off and going on my stitching, and that stuff just makes it glide really, really well. So I highly recommend that. What else do I do? Oh, I have stilettos. So, the only time I ever, hey, Mindy, hey, Janet. So, y'all, Janet's my sister. My sister and my dad are here. Welcome, welcome. These are stilettos. This one this one is made using a turkey. At Thanksgiving time, they sell these, and you put them in your turkey to lace your turkey up or something. I don't know. But look, it's super sharp, and it's not very long. And then you slide your beads on it, and you hit it with some kind of glue, so like probably hot glue, and it holds it in place, and it makes a really sharp, pointed stiletto. So my girlfriend made this one for me, and I love it. And then I bought this one, and it is a Clover brand stiletto. Now, the thing about stilettos, if you've not used one, I'm going to use this one for grins. When your needle is here, pretend like this is your needle on your sewing machine, and we're running fabric through it. I want to push my fabric or make sure that fold stays down or whatever it is, but I don't want to injure my fingers. Have you ever had a needle, your sewing machine needle, go through your finger? Well, I have, and it hurts, so don't do it. Use your stiletto, so it's a safety device. So either one of these are good. You can make them or you can buy them. I use them a lot. Okay. I have a pet peeve about, I do a lot of seam ripping. I wish I didn't have to say that, but I do. I do a lot of ripping. If it's not just how I want it, I will rip it out. I have a girlfriend that'll rip it out up to 6 times. I won't do that, but 3 or 4 I will, and then I'm like over it. But so I like a sharp seam ripper. This is the one I like the best because it's inexpensive. I mean, it's not super expensive. It's not free, but you know what I mean. It's not super expensive. And it is the sharpest out of the box that I've been able to find, and I like them really sharp. Now, what what I wish this one had is what this one has. This one, they're very, very similar. I think this one is, you know, you can see the tips of them. This one is a little bit longer, all of that sort of thing, right? I don't know what brand this is. I've forgotten. But what I love about this one, and the reason I still have this one even though it's dull, is because of this end. Have you ever ripped out, let me show you, like ripped it, so I ripped this open a little while ago, just before class started, before this started. Am I doing this so y'all can see it? So I'm ripping it out, right? And I've torn my threads and I'm ripping, right? Can you see it better on this or this?
It's about 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Watch what happens when I use the end of this. It just gathers up all those little hairy pieces, and I don't have to pull them out, right? It just sticks, and that makes pulling those little threads much faster. Now, if I'm doing a lot of them, here's another one of my favorite things, and that is a pair of tweezers. These, I bought a bunch of these. They were on sale at Sally's. They were on clearance for like 69 cents a piece. I bought like 3 dozen. But I use tweezers all the time for stuff like this. All the time. And then what's handy is if I come up with a stray hair, I can grab it too. I'm just playing. Just seeing if y'all are paying attention. Just seeing. Okay, so I read that you can sharpen your, what are those things called? Seam rippers. I've never done it. Doug has, says he has a little tool that will do it. Okay, let's see what else we have that I love.
If their husband sharpens their own knives and they have a serrated knife, they'll have a little sharpening tool that you can sharpen serrated knives with. It will work on that.
Did y'all hear that? Yes, Timmy, I can use that for binding. Hey, Pam and Terry, my fingernail split just down the middle, so I'm protecting it because it grabs, it grabs stuff. Doug just told us that if you have a serrated knife sharpener, right? Is that what you told me?
Yeah.
It's a little tool that you use to sharpen serrated knives. It'll work. It's a little file. It'll work on your seam rippers. I've always just gotten another one out. Now, have y'all seen these? You're going to show my face. This is what these are. They are abrasion, and it's a little blade, right? It's a cheap little whatever. You can use this to rip threads out also. So I'll go ahead and pull this thread out, pop that out, and then I open this. I'm not very good at this. I'm trying to do it backwards, but watch, y'all. You can just break because that's a sharp blade, you just touch your thread with this blade and it will tear out so that's another way to get threads out that you want to get rid of. Okay, let me see what else I have for you. Other favorite things. Oh, so this was a free thing. Well, I don't know if it was free. It was given to me. Have y'all ever seen one of those? This one is it was a gift from the Fat Quarter shop, I think. And it's just a little triangle. What I don't know that you can see is right here is a blade. There's a blade right inside there. Let me show you how this works. So I'm doing some 4-patch little things. Watch this. If you've been chain piecing, And now and see I have all these chain pieced together. Okay, so if you're new to quilting and you've got these and you're stitching along here and you don't break thread and you just keep stitching, you'll get a whole string like this. Then you have to cut in between. This is called chain piecing. So you see that cool little thing? It's very handy. Now I've got all those done, and now I can go back and open these up and, you know, iron them and get them ready for the next step of this project. So that's a cool little fun, neat little thing. Okay. Now, if you'll notice, is Tony on here yet? Tony, are you here? And hey, Mike, how are you? Oh, Anita gave you your triangle thing? Well, Timmy, maybe that's where I got mine. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I can't remember. It's been so long. Okay, do y'all see what I did here? There's row A and row B and row C. Do you see that? I have them marked like this. It's these little red clips. Did I do that wrong? Yes. Okay, it's those little red clips. When I'm trying to keep my rows in order, I don't have to have them on the wall. I had them up there so you could see what I was doing. I have these little red clips, and I bought, look, I even have G. It's these just regular little red clips, right? I have 100 of them or something. But I bought Riley Blake's multi-pack. I bought this at a Scarlet Thread over in Georgia. Somehow this opens. Here it is. And it is a set of stickers. Look, y'all. Stickers. And so when I'm doing rows, like, you know how it is when you, like I just put a quilt top together this weekend that had, with the top border and the bottom border, and 9 rows. So I had 11 rows. And so I was using these to clearly differentiate. Don't forget, this is row 1, row 2, row A, B, C, D, all the way down. And all I did was I just took, this is G. And I put a sticker on it. I could do that for however many rows I have. And that helps me keep it straight and organized when it's not hanging up, or I'm trying to iron it or whatever it is. It just helps me keep it organized. So this whole packet, I'll never use all these. But look, all of these are stickers. It's the ABC stickers. Oh, and then there's some cute little numbers and stuff like that. But anyway, I have really benefited from having these little stickers. And it's one of my favorite things. So I thought I would show you that. Now, what I do is I don't use them for everything. So the ones that are lettered, I keep on, it's just I think it's an envelope I folded, right? And I just keep them on here, and then I keep everything in a jar, all these little red clips in a jar, and I just hang, and it's full at the bottom, but here's some extras. So that's the way I keep those letters and my stickers all together. So there you go. I hope y'all aren't bored. Okay, so pin cushions. I love pin cushions. I have pin cushions like all over my board. I have them all over my room. But when I'm working over at my long arm or on this wall, I love the magnetic pin cushion. Have y'all seen these? These little, these are those bobbin things. But have y'all seen these little donut things with the hold the bobbins? This is a really good, I love this because it keeps everything organized. So I have this. I think it's called a donut. Okay, do y'all have any of these? Do y'all use red glasses? What red glasses do when you're looking at colors on a wall, it takes out the color red. I'll let you see the quilt behind me. Now, are you seeing darks and lights? Like, here's the light, but here's a dark, and here's a am I pointing to the right thing?
Yes.
This is a dark, and this is, so this is when you're doing something scrappy, you'll be able to see. You don't want all your darks lined up together. You want them kind of interspersed. So these little glasses I've had for 100 years. The sticker on them says sew, S-E-W, redglasses.com. And I, interestingly, found a glasses case in the house. I didn't go buy it. That was red. So I keep this over. I don't remember where I got this, but I didn't go buy this. But anyway, I keep this right by my sewing because when I need this, then I don't want all my darks in one corner, right? I want to be able to spread that out real well. So I strongly recommend red glasses. If you don't have red glasses, and you have a color tool set. In the back of the color tool set, you'll have a clear red sheet. Hold that in front of the camera. Can you see the difference between the darks and the lights? The lights and the darks?
Very obvious.
Very? Okay. Now put the green. There's also a green one. The green will take out all green tones. So look at the difference there. I don't have any green glasses. I'm waiting for my camera to come up with green. But here's a dark and here's a lighter one. So when I see it, yeah, that just takes all the color out, doesn't it? Okay, so I use the red mostly, but that's what those things are for. And they're really, it's really helpful when you're trying to do scrappy, but you're wanting to, because our eyes don't always see the darks and the lights, the difference. Okay. Questions? Oh, good. Thanks, Pam. It really matters. The lights and the darks. I did a giant quilt that had a lot of dark blue kind of background and some scrappy other stuff, and I used it a lot during the building of that quilt, just to spread stuff out. It just is more pleasing to the eye. Okay, let's see. Y'all know I love friction pens, and these are the ones that erase, with heat. They have the ballpoint kind, and then they have this one, the friction pen that has the soft, like, what's that called? Like, it's not a ballpoint, it's like there's a name for it.
Felt tip.
Yeah, like a felt tip. That's it. Good going, Hoot. Way to go. Okay, so if I'm building something that I need to press corners, like I need to poke a corner out, this little bamboo corner thingy has come in real handy. I got this through Missouri Star. It was really inexpensive, and it's bamboo, and I have really used that a lot because I can get up close to it in the iron. Now, I want to talk to you about something I heard someone say one time when they said, I didn't know I was supposed to clean my sewing machine. And I kind of was surprised by that. I guess I shouldn't have been, but I was. Because y'all know when you clean yours, it can get really, really messy. Okay, a couple of my favorite things. Pipe cleaners. Now, they don't call them pipe This is how old we are. They don't call them pipe cleaners anymore. Y'all know that, right? They call them chenille stems or something. I mean, but you get them in the art, at Walmart or Target or whatever. Okay, these are fabulous to bend and then scoop out all the lint in your bobbin area, or if down up underneath, you can just wiggle it, and it'll pick up lint and it'll help clean out your machine. I clean my I try to clean my machine after every bobbin. If I'm in the thick middle of something, sometimes it'll be 2 or 3 bobbins, but not many more than that. I always clean it, and I always use one of those. Here's another thing I do. I use a toothbrush. This is my especially for my sewing machine, because I can gather up all that lint down in there and sweep it up with this, and then it'll stick to the fibers, and then I just clean that off. Another thing I have is this is just flannel, and I can wipe this off with it, or I can ball this up and get down in there to clean it up. So I highly recommend these 3 inexpensive tools to clean your machine. Do it as often as you change your bobbin. I'm looking around to see if there's anything else. Okay, I think that's it, friends. Although, let me just double check. I told you everything. I got a new thing. I haven't even tried it yet, but this is a bobbin. This is to change your needle and to help you thread your needle on the machine. I will figure this out and get back with you, but I ordered some because my machine was in the shop, and I have an automatic threader, and I saw these demonstrated, and I wanted to try it. Now I haven't done it. Oh, this is what I was going to do. Last thing. Okay, this stuff is fabulous. Y'all know you have it too, right? It's that spray that blows really cold, and it'll blow hard. The thing about it is, when you're at your machine, if you blow it down into your bobbin area using this, you are compacting your lint into your machine, into the other mechanical parts. Now, I will spray this to clean off the top of my machine, the dust, or down at the base of it. But when I have my machine open, I don't use this on my long arm or in my sewing machine, because it will literally pack that dust down inside, and then the guys who work on it struggle with it. So it's good to have. Oh, Catherine, you love the threader. You use it all the time. Good. I need to learn from you then.
Me too.
You need to learn?
No, I've used it a lot.
Oh, Doug's used it a lot. Who knew? I had an expert at the house. Okay. Last thing. I'm going to do something new this year. And this is the time I'm going to do it each week. I'm going to kind of get to the place where I'm through with whatever it is we're going to cover. I hope this has been helpful if you've gotten some ideas this week. I have more planned, but this was a special request, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something or saw something you can use or make or whatever. But y'all know that I am I'm a woman of faith, and every single Monday through Friday, I write a daily devotional, and I post it out on a Facebook group by the name of We Are Called to Pray. We Are Called to Pray. And we started it back, the group, last March. The Lord put it on my heart to start it, and the next week COVID hit. The next week was 3 days later, the Dallas Quilt Show was canceled. So I guess the point I'm making, I'll take my thimble off. The point I'm making is I was led to start it, close to a year ago. So I've been writing every single morning a devotional. And so in my prayer time, praying about y'all, hoping that all is well in your world, hoping that that you're not stressed, that you have comfort, that you are safe, that you are well. Praying over y'all today. You have been prayed over today for sure. Hey Rhonda, thank you. It's been shown to me that I need to start sharing one of my devotionals with you each week. So I'm going to end each week. Heads up, if you don't want to hear it, that is absolutely fine. You know how to exit out of the Facebook Live. I know you do. So, but I would love to. This is one I wrote, and I wrote this last fall, and I forgot to look at the date that I wrote it. But I'm going to show you. It's called "It's All About the Back," and the reason I called it that is because I don't like a plain back on my quilts. And what I do is when I have a 45-inch wide piece of fabric and I need it to be, I don't know, 60, for example, I need to add, however much, 16 inches to it. Well, the way I do that is I take the 45, I trim the selvages, but, whatever it is, 44 inches or 42 or whatever, and then I add a strip to the side, however wide I need it. Simple construction, right? Well, when on that strip on the side, I take that far end and attach it to this end. I've sewn it together. Now I take those two and sew them together, and it makes a loop, and then I cut the bigger piece, resulting in this. Oh, look, I'll show you this cute little quilt. This little quilt is a tablecloth. Isn't that cute? It's just a little old vintage tablecloth. Well, for the back, got it?
Got it.
Okay. So the back, I did exactly what I'm telling you I did. I took the width of fabric. I put this black strip on one side, sewed it together. I had a tube, and then I cut the pink. So this is how I got the back. Just real simple. But this little devotional is the one that I wrote about. It's all about the back. So I'm going to read it to you real quickly. It's a couple minutes, I think. Quilting has its own language, as do all studies. For example, we have back quarters. Yep, from sitting so long at our sewing machines. Not really. That's a terrible joke. Truth is, a fat quarter is a quarter of a yard cut into an 18 by 22 blocks rather than 9 inches by 44 inches. And quilters have UFOs. That's not a joke. A UFO is an unfinished object, and sadly, we all have these. Y'all should see my room. We start something and get distracted, or we run out of fabric, or whatever the situation is, and we fold it up and we put it aside to finish when we have time, like that's ever going to happen. Well, hello 2020. I wrote this last year. By the way, I wrote, someday we're going to look back and say to someone else, don't you dare go 2020 on me. Y'all, I could change this now and say, don't you go 2021 on me either. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. We live in a crazy world. Almost unanimously, quilters are clearing out scraps and finding UFOs. Last week, I cleared out scraps. This week, I found a UFO I want to finish. I have enough blocks already made to make the top of the quilt. However, it just needs a back before it can be quilted together. So layering the top and the batting in the back and stitching it all together. Many quilters don't like making quilt backs. They figure the backs won't be seen at all, so they aren't that important. But not me. My quilt backs are kind of like wedding dresses. It's all about the back. The front is where the focus is, but a bride's dress is seen from the back during the wedding, so it needs to be good too. At least that's the way I see it. And when a quilt is laying on the back of a sofa, you'll see the top. But when you snuggle up under the quilt, or throw it over your feet in the evenings, you'll see the back. That's why I love a pretty back. Well, this morning, as I was writing, I was led to Romans 14:12. So then each of us will give an account of himself to God. And then I was led to John 3:21. But whoever lives by truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what they have done has been done in the sight of God. That's what we do, right? We live by the truth of God's word, and we love the light, and we love truth. We seek truth. And of course we mess up. But we know how to ride our boat. We ask forgiveness, and we seek truth again. We know with certainty that whatever we do has been done in the sight of God. We know there will be an accounting. That's when the Lord showed me the front of the quilt is what the world sees. And the Lord sees that too. But he showed me that the back of the quilt is like that part of life that's not seen by the world, but only by him. It's the secret part of our lives. It's what he sees, but the world doesn't see it. It's the things we do when no one is looking. He revealed to me that the quilt back is valued by him more so than the fancy front, because it represents time we spend with him. And he values the time we take with him. He also values the time we take the leftover, broken, tiny pieces, which I often use on the back of my quilts, to him and ask his help. He values the bits and the fragments of mistakes and failures that we carry to him. He values the time we spend with him in his word, seeking the truth. He sees all these things, and he knows, and he wants us to spend time with him, and he wants that relationship. So he showed me so clearly that spending time on the back of the quilt is important. The back of the quilt may never be seen by the world, but it is done in the sight of God. The Lord just showed me that it is all about the back. So there you go. There's today's moment with our Maker. I hope that you, if you have any questions, that you will let me know. If there's anything you want to learn about, you will let me know. I'm truly thinking about start doing some, a couple of weeks, or a week talking about 4-patch and another week talking about 9-patch and some things like that. So if you have anything in particular that you want to learn, please, please, please let me know. If you have questions, let me know. What else have I forgotten? Anything? Know that you've been prayed over, and I hope that you have a marvelous Monday and a wonderful, wonderful week. Be blessed. Talk to you soon, friends. Bye-bye.